was in fact like losing about 30-40,000 a month, where my income was zero and minus. So I had no source of income. That was the most hardest part in my entire career. If you're not able to do multitasking with education and starting a business, you can never run a business, because business is not even like focusing on one thing. Very important, especially if you're in the space of online entrepreneurship, because if you know your line, that your intentions are right, you have the integrity in place, you have the value system in place, you will always talk to people thinking about, is this going to be beneficial for them? So there was only two ways to build a business. Either you build it with people or you build it with systems. That was the moment I literally had nothing, because everything is going away. That was the lowest point of my life, where I probably was literally thinking about, where do I have a couple of hundreds I've kept somewhere. I want to have it all, because I believe that once you've seen that, that's where your detachment comes to the next level. If you're not going to see it for 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years, you will always be waiting that when I'm going to see that. We built crazy, insane features for about 2 years and we launched the product. And once we launched it, the community looked at it, they were mind blown. And on one day, we made about 1.2 crore on one single day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Killer Sales Engine podcast. My name is Aum Janakiram, and today I have a very special guest, as always, someone who has been really making waves in the Indian industry. And I'm going to be introducing this person who's a SaaS founder, as well as a coach, a serial entrepreneur. A lot of great things you're going to listen into this episode with Karthik Naidu.
Welcome to the Killer Sales Engine podcast with Aum Janakiram.
Welcome, Karthik Naidu. Thank you so much for taking the time to come to the show.
Thank you so much, Om, for having me here. And I'm very excited for this podcast.
We're happy to have you. Great, Karthik. I believe, you've been doing some amazing things, and I've been following you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and I've been seeing your ads everywhere. So especially for this podcast, where we have a lot of aspiring business owners, coaches, salespeople who are looking for very actionable insights and words of wisdom from people who have been there, and done that. This, I believe, is going to be a very valuable podcast for our listeners here. So I'm really excited to dive down into your story. So why don't you give our audience a little bit of introduction, like who you are and what you've been up to?
So I started my journey like from childhood. I've been into not that great in education, I could say. So I started off my journey. I born and brought up here in Bangalore, and I studied in Baldwin's, and that was my convent education where it started, and went on thinking about career. I think that was something that I was not that clear. So I went on to do commerce in first PU and second PU, that's first 11th and 12th. And then I went on to do law. Okay. So why law? Because my mom is a lawyer herself. So it was always programmed that I'm going to be an advocate, I'm going to be an attorney, and I'm going to be learning in the legal section. So once I started doing law, it was a 5 years course. And once I've completed, on the third, fourth year, I clearly knew that I'm not going to be a practicing lawyer. Okay. And in between, I was like, okay, I want to get into business. I want to see how I can build a business around it. So I did think about even starting a legal first practice and then build it into a firm and scale it up to next level. But then I was like, I think entrepreneurship is something that's exciting. So once I finished my law, I spent about 1.5 year just understanding businesses. And understanding business was not about, to be very honest, learning from YouTube videos or just courses, but I inquired with some of the companies to take a franchise of their brand. So I inquired with some of the brands like even McDonald's or Subway. I connected with Pizza Hut. Then I got to know that you can't get that franchise that easily. Okay, then Starbucks was coming in. So I was inquiring with them. I also went into some of the new brands which are in the ice cream space at the time. So how does that business work? I even inquired about how a courier business works, logistics and other things. So I think giving me that 1 to 1.5 year of just connecting with people, understanding, checking out their emails, like they giving me good presentations made me understand that, okay, business is all about a simple math. It's about you have a product or a service, you give it to the right people, and people use your service or product and they pay you. That's a simple thing I understood. And I understood the second layer of about either I started on my own or I can go with an established business model and I can replicate that in my location. That was about franchising. So then later I decided upon, okay, I had like 2, 3 options. I did even get into the small restaurant space, that's QS. I had it for about 3, 4 years, but then I had to like sell it off because that was not something that I love to do. And parallelly, I got into education. Now that was my first domain of expertise. 2014 is where I got in. And once I got into education space, 2014 to 16, my whole focus was about starting a preschool, and I made it into a franchise model. and I was able to like get about 4 to 5 franchisees, and also expanded my current education school into up to grade 5, so not just the preschool. This was happening and it was going amazing, but that's where the COVID hit, and that's where I got into digital space of learning how to coach. My initial idea was not to become a coach. My initial idea was only to learn public speaking. I wanted to learn how I can speak in front of camera. How do people talk nonstop? They're so fluent. They don't fumble. I was like, I want to learn this skill because I was not good at it. So I used to like have a sheet and then I used to give my speech. Okay. So then I said, I'm never going to use the paper again, but I'm going to learn how to do this. And that's what brought me into the coaching space, not to sell courses or anything. But then when I came into the coaching space, the whole world of digital opened up. And so basically I run two solid businesses right now. One is in the education space. We have more than 30 branches of my institution that I started. And the second part is the digital space, which I'm in SaaS, that's software as a service. So these are the two businesses, and I focus on these growing further from here.
Fantastic, amazing. So I mean, you caught the entrepreneurial bug early on, and you just dove into it and realized this is the place that you want to be. And I'm curious, like a preschool, right? Starting a preschool is something which not many people think about. Of course, food is obviously the place where you make a lot more money and things like that. But a preschool is sort of like it's something that's uncommon for people to start as such, because it involves a lot of logistics. So what's the name of the preschool that you started, and what was the like journey to build that up before we get into the SaaS part of things?
Yeah, it's White Petals.
White petals.
White
Okay.
Petals, right. So
Okay. Okay.
actually, you're very right, because initially when the idea came in, it was my mom who gave me the idea. Okay, so since I was searching for at least like a couple of businesses, she told me, why don't you start a preschool? My friend's daughter started. I said, Ma, that's something that women start, so I don't want to start it and run. How can I handle like small kids? I have no background and I'm so young with that. So she told me that, what's your future plan? Let's say you start with a preschool. Do you want to grow it to next level? I said, yeah. So what's your ultimate that you want to take it? I said, I want to build a primary, then go to high school, then have a college, then have a university. So that can be my whole life plan. And she said, then you should start from scratch. She said, if you don't
Mm.
understand what's there at the grassroots level, you'll never be able to handle something that's big. So that was the point where I started with preschool. But eventually, today, if you see at it, we have till grade 5, we're expanding, as well as we have franchising. So I brought in the experts to run the academic side of it, and I take care of the business and expansion side. So that's how that journey started.
Superb, superb. I mean, that's very, very fortunate. On a lot of people who take up like law or engineering, usually their parents expect them to kind of carry on that journey in the space. Whereas, you've been someone who has been able to get that support from your parents to be able to take up entrepreneurship. So was there any resistance as such, moving? Why are you going away from law, beta? Why don't you continue this? Why are you getting into business?
There was a very interesting phase in this 6 years, which I told you. 2014, 15, 16, I had taken a different franchise of another brand, but I didn't get enough support. So I didn't understand, and it was in loss. So 14, 15, 16, I was in fact like losing about 30, 40,000 a month, where my income was zero and minus. So I had no source of income. That was the most hardest part in my entire career. And in 14, 15, 16, I decided like, okay, now it's done. I think it's not going to happen. In 2016, I decided I'll start my own brand so that I can do a lot of research and make it the right model. But when I went across and told this to my parents and my sisters, I still remember we were in the living hall and we were talking about it. And I said, I'm going to start my own brand. The first reaction
Mm.
was, I think you should not. Okay,
Mhm.
so logically they started convincing me, all of them, all three of them. So they started convincing me, if it didn't happen in 3 years with the support of a brand, you're starting a new one, investing that much of capital, already 3 years is money is gone. So I think it's not a good idea. So you're good at communication. I think you should move to the US and start your attorney journey. Because once you start, we know how you can communicate, how you can speak to people. You have the skills what actually a lawyer should have, and you'll be able to like debate, talk, and also do the documentation part of it. And I said, no, I don't want to do it because I can't read documents, and that's not something I like to do. And there was a clear either yes or no. Okay, and that's where I told them one line. I still remember that. I told them, today probably whatever I'm saying, you're not getting convinced only because probably I've not done it yet, right? So the trust or the confidence that I will do is probably zero. It's not there. Give me 2 years time. I'm going to build something. If it doesn't work, I'm going to quit everything and I'm going to get into lawyer profession. I'm going to be an advocate. And that's where my family said, okay, then go ahead and do it. But in that 2 years, I started my own brand, White Petals, in 2017, launched it. First year, we got 30 students, which was a break even. Second year, we got 85. And third year, I moved about 160 students. Okay. And the growth was huge year on year. It was almost 100, 200% growth. And then I started building. First floor, second floor. Then we expanded. I started franchising. And then there was no looking back. But early stages, I used to always think that my family did not actually support me or tell me yes when I wanted. But I understood on a later point, when I had the right maturity, that most of the parents who say no is not because they don't trust you or they don't have confidence, but they really care about you. They
Yeah.
care about you, that if something goes wrong, right, what happens to my son or daughter? I think that realization came a little later, after a couple of years after doing it. I was like, that day what they said was not because they didn't trust me, but they really cared for me. And I think that was one point which gave me that right decision to make on my own and take that risk. And when things are against you, you tend to like work more and make it happen. So that was in between journey which you asked.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, like, I do get a lot of kids who come to me still doing engineering, third year, second year. And they're like seeing all these videos about people who are getting into business. They're seeing their friends maybe in the US, quitting and starting to make money. And, he was like, one of the people I spoke to is like, my mother's taken out gold loans. My mother's invested so much in my education, but I don't want to do this. So he was asking me, what do I do? And I was really torn, because I'm someone also who is like, go follow your heart, do what you're ready to do. But at the same time, you've got your family who's supporting you, believing in you, invested all their blood, sweat, and tears. And do you feel like it's a good idea just to follow your heart, not finish a degree? Or do you feel, let's finish the degree, make your family happy, and then go on and do what you need to do?
I would never probably suggest anyone to skip their degree or have a college dropout. Okay, so it
Mm.
sounds very exciting in the beginning that I'm going to go on to build a lot of businesses and other things. But let me tell you the other side of it. So even when I got in, I finished my 5 years of law. So I'm a registered bar council advocate in Karnataka. So today, anywhere I go, there is something that has been evaluated based on your qualification. Okay, you can make a lot of money, but let me tell you, if you want to be in some of the boards, or even like, let's say, you get an opportunity for the government, your qualification plays the crucial role for you to even be qualified to apply something. So if you have the time right now as a student, I would never say that, I don't know how much of use is your degree, but I would always say that still we are living in a world where qualification plays as a benchmark for few opportunities. So if you're looking at tomorrow, let's say that you get an opportunity to be out probably in the startup space, and you have to work for the government. Now you need to be there. For example, Nandan Nilekani is one of the examples. Think about it. He got an opportunity to head the entire Aadhaar space. Imagine if he was a college dropout, maybe he wouldn't have got that opportunity. Right? People are more technical, people are more smart than him. But I think some of the opportunities will open up only with those qualification. And I think if you have it right now, you need to do both. See, if you're not able to do multitasking with education and starting a business, you can never run a business. Because business is not even like focusing on one thing. It has different departments, right? In those departments, you need to do multitasking way beyond just education and business. I think the test of your time starts from education and your business. You should be able to manage both, and that's what makes you like a good entrepreneur. And I think your education qualification counts a lot. No matter you're going to a different country or applying for a visa, you want to visit somewhere, all these pointers act subconsciously. Maybe some of them might feel that, okay, it's not that important, but you might feel it right now. But I would always say it's good to have. So there's nothing you have to be against it. Complete it is just about 3 years. Your life is till 70, 80 years. So 3 years should not make much difference. Do it parallelly and implement and learn together. I think that's what I would do.
That's great advice coming from Karthik Naidu. Make sure that you finish your degree so that you have those qualifications. You never know when you're going to need it in the future.
Yeah, I'll also give one single example for this. Recently, I was invited by Bishop Cotton Schools. Okay, so they are the most reputed school in Bangalore. So they have a history of more than 160 years. Okay, and the management connected. They wanted me to be their chief guest for one of the event where they choose the captains and they get started. So I think one of the crucial decision making for the management was even where I'm from, what's my background, and what was my qualification. Now getting these opportunities like with a reputed institution, it's not about money at all, but you being a part of the space as a chief guest to inspire thousands of students who actually look up to you, this also becomes like a benchmark, right? It's invited. So those opportunities open up on based on few of the things. So not many talk about it, but it's for
Mm.
sure.
Great. So speaking about, being able to multitask, being able to figure out multiple things at the same time. See, like you said, you started a business. Obviously, you had to raise capital, right? It's not money. It's not for coming out of thin air, wherever it might come. So raising capital, being able to market yourself, then being able to sell it. Talk to me a little bit about like what were the initial hurdles that you faced while you were doing this? Because a lot of people say, first get into a job, make good money from that, get that corporate experience as such so that you can get disciplined, build up some capital from your salary or savings, and then start. However, you went gung ho straight in. So what were the kind of high income skills that I would call that you were able to kind of get into that and then be able to make it successful?
Absolutely. I should also acknowledge that you're asking me so good questions that are actually touching upon few things I would never speak about. So awesome. Good job with that, Om. So one thing, when you're starting a business, most of us think that, okay, we need investment. Okay. To be very frank, I started with zero investment. Okay. No money from anyone, including my parents. Okay. Now, if you're wondering that, how is it really possible? Is it possible to do that? When I started off in 2014, my sister helped me. Okay, she stays in Canada, and then she was in US. So she gave me that help initially, about 5-6 lakhs, and she said that, okay, you start. Okay, I took that, I started, and it didn't work. So it was always in the spiral loop. Again, it's not working. The second time, I was all by myself, right? So now I know that nothing is going to happen. And when I wanted to start my own, I needed about 20 lakh rupees. Okay, because I had to put up a building there. So though we have one site we had, which was gifted to me by mom. But I need to at least get the capital of 20 lakhs to start it. And I have literally zero. I have some 5,000 in my bank account. Now, that is where I had to know about either I go behind a job. Let's say I start working, I start saving 20,000 rupees. So I would roughly take about 3 years to at least save about 6 to 7 lakh or 10 lakh, 20 lakh and come back and start a business. So I need to invest 3 to 4 years to either save my money on start. That's where I was reading this beautiful book by Robert Kiyosaki. And in the cash flow quadrant, he talks about this. So you start a business with zero money. He tells that you need to leverage other people's money. So other people's money could be your banks, it could be your friends, it could be your relatives, or any source that is accessible to raise funds. So that's where I started looking at what are my options that I have, because I was reading that book. And one of the options that was in front of me was my car. Okay, I bought this car initially before I got in because I had enough money then. Okay, due to I got from different sources and I had some savings, and I went on, bought this car full cash, but I had not actually taken a loan on it. Okay, and that was Mahindra XUV at that time. Okay, so I bought this car, there was no loan on it, and 2017 it was already 3 year old, and I was like, now what do I do? So if I have to use something, either I have to sell something that I have, it could be gold, property, or something, raise money, and then start a business. Or second one, I got an idea, I'm going to take a loan on top of this. That's where I connected with one of the banks. I called them, I told them to evaluate. So it got a good valuation, and they gave me a loan of 10 lakhs. Okay, I was like, this is it. Now 10 lakhs, I'm not going to go with like a proper structure. I'll just get a sheet, I'll start off the school, and then let me figure out. Once I started, I got suggestions that if you do it right now, you'll waste your growth, because tomorrow when you expand, you can't. And one of my construction person gave me that idea. I said, okay, let's start. Let's see what happens. I started working on it. I started doing the foundation. I got to the plinth. I started building the walls. And once I finished the ceiling, right, the money was over. Now I needed another 10 lakhs to finish. And we are almost in February. I need to start the school in June. If not, I'm going to lose one more year. And plus the loan that I've taken, I need to pay back. And that's exactly where I think if you're at the right intention, right opportunities, few doors open up. Okay. And it's not that my parents had a lot of money that they could just give me. So they're also like working. We all come from scratch. We don't really come from a very rich background. So even my parents also didn't have that kind of money to support. So that's where one of the opportunity was I applied for a loan in a bank. I am so grateful to that person even till today. The manager was a lady, okay, and she saw my application. She called me to the bank. She told me your application will be rejected easily. There is no way that this can approve because you don't have a right CIBIL score because you've never taken a loan before this, like clearly. So how do I give you like, let's say 20 lakhs of loan without any banking history? Right? I said, yeah, that's not. But I said, I have a property. She said, actually, bank doesn't work like that. You need to have a track record of at least paid your EMIs on time. You should have a CIBIL score. If you don't have a credit history, you're not even eligible to apply. And that's when I understood, okay, it's not happening. So after this, in October, November, the connection was cut. So I was like, it's over now. I can't do anything. So I just pushed it till January, February. And I got a call on February telling that the manager wants to meet you, come over. I went to the manager and she said, I don't know I've been thinking about your case and I truly want to like make sure that I help you this time. Okay, because two things, I can see that you have a lot of fire and dream in you. Second one, I somewhere have the confidence that you will not like stop paying the EMIs. Can you give me a commitment that you'll never like stop your EMIs? No matter what, if you don't default it, can you give me that commitment? I told her that
Mm.
I'll never default my EMI for this. Okay. And she said, okay, I'm going to take this step. And she approved the loan and she put that 20 lakhs into my account in February.
Wow.
And the moment that came in, I cleared everything. Within 1.5 month, I set up the entire brand. I launched on May 10th. I still remember the dates. Okay. That was in
Mm.
2017. I launched it. First year we got 30, then we expanded, and there's no looking back from there. I think if not that one scenario, probably, I'm not sure life would have taken a different direction or I would have done things differently. But I feel if you're just sticking on to one, the universe will support you. You will get options. You need to be alert. So it's not about the money that you need right now. It's not thinking let the money comes in. Even I read a beautiful line in Robert Kiyosaki's book itself. He tells that if you tell yourself it's not working, it's not happening, your brain stops working. If you ask your brain, how can I make this work? Then your brain starts suggesting you. Most of them tell that it's not happening, it's not working, frustration. But the point is just stop everything and ask your mind, what are the options that I can make it work? What are the things that I can leverage around me? And I will guarantee you, no matter what background you're from, there are some leverages that you will have. It could be people, it could be your friends, it could be a family. There is somebody out there to handhold you. And this is the story of everyone in the past I've seen. They always tell that I had this one situation where this person came and helped me. So it's just that you need to tell yourself that where is my leverage? Whom do I connect with? If you ask yourself a question, I think you'll find a way for it.
Amazing. That's really great advice in the sense like you opening up your eyes instead of huddling down. You're
Yeah.
opening up and asking, what can I do? Where can I go? And then suddenly you'll magically start to see, thanks to the laws of the universe, answers come to you. But again, it's also about acting on those opportunities that come to you with confidence as well, right? I mean, to hear the story, I think it was like more on the fire in your belly, like you said, that this lady very fortunately said, okay, I'm taking a chance on you. That was absolutely amazing. But it would have absolutely involved some sort of, I would say, sales skills. So why don't we talk a little bit about that? Because see, conviction is probably the bedrock of sales, right? And for her to believe in your project, for her to believe in what you're doing, and not only in this project, but maybe in other things that came along the way. Tell us a little bit about, how you developed your sales skills. Was it a natural thing that you came across? Did you study it or what? Tell us about that.
I think very interesting thing is that sales is something that's kind of is hidden inside you is what I believe to an extent. Okay, but it's always something that you can improve. Okay, so you might not be 100%, you might have just 5% of the skills, but I feel some of the principles that what I have observed after walking a long way was it was not consciously done. I didn't think about I have to like put across and have this meeting, probably tell her these things so that she'll get convinced. No, it was genuinely like I want to start a school, I want to grow this. This is what I've done in 3 years, and I know this brand is going to like make a lot of things because I've done all these preparations. I think putting across the transparency is something that is like beautiful about sales, according to me. Because even till date, I never sell a product or service or any of my subscription. People buy it. I tell them transparently, like make a conscious decision and take it. Right? I push people to decision, but there's a very thin line between like having the right skills of sales versus having manipulative skills. Right? The thin line is very, very important, especially if you're in the space of online entrepreneurship. Because if you know your line, that your intentions are right, you have the integrity in place, you have the value system in place, you will always talk to people thinking about is this going to be beneficial for them? And if it is not beneficial, you will never sell that. I think that's what makes a true entrepreneur. So coming to skills of development, I've never consciously done it earlier or until now. I think I naturally love to like connect with people, show them what it is, and I want to inspire people with what is there. Right. So
Mm.
I have one rule in my life. I never teach something I've not done myself. Never. Like till date, I could teach any topics to them. But if I've not accomplished, if I've not done it myself, I don't pick up the topic at any cost. So that's been my rule, even in my courses, my coaching, my videos, wherever you see me speaking, there's one common thing is I'm a practitioner of what I speak. I never speak about what I've not done. I think that gives me confidence that I've walked the path. Now I hold the authority to actually tell or teach people about it.
Amazing. And that's something which I think we're going to be talking about in just a bit, about how you started the SaaS company which you got based on doing a lot of things, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. But one thing that really take away in this is that practice what you preach, make sure that you have that conviction, go for it no matter what. Look out for the opportunities by asking yourself, how can I find a solution for this? And these are small things that any aspiring business owner, coaches, students, or salespeople, whenever you're in a position where you don't know what to do, make sure that you follow your heart and believe in yourself, and things will happen even when you think that things are stacked against you. So absolutely fantastic words of wisdom, Karthik. Thank you so much. Coming to the next point, I mean, obviously now the big 2020 hurdle that hit the entire world in such a big way, which no one is expecting, would have obviously thrown everything out of place. You've got an offline preschool, your business is going well, you're building up people, you've got lots of students to take care of, and now boom, COVID hits. So what happened? And how did you make the transition?
I think that was a bigger blow for me, and a big roadmap. The reason was we got about 4 to 5 franchisees operating. And what I did in that particular year was I constructed 2 extra floors on my property. Okay, thinking that, okay, now in March, April, May, June is where the admissions happen, so that I can take this money and I can make sure that I can pay back once the fees come in. And 2020, the kind of COVID that hit was never ever expected. So in March 22nd, 23rd, I remember that. We were almost like ending the exams. And that's where the COVID came in. We had a lockdown and we thought maybe it'll open up. But it didn't happen for a couple of weeks. And that's where I started like worrying upon, because I inaugurated that, and immediately I have to pay back. And that was like a big roadblock. Getting into digital space was not because of passion or anything, it was because of survival. Okay, and 2020, I just had to think about either I give up where 40-50 people were together, and I had to shut down every operations and tell them I'm not going to like open it for next 1-2 years. I'll replan and redo it again. But many people who were working with me were women, had families, they stayed in rented houses, and I felt that if anything goes wrong right now, it's going to affect the whole, each and every person. So I told myself I'm going to do everything in my hand, whatever is possible, and try to build something. Okay, now when same thing Robert Kiyosaki does, right? If you say it's not happening, it's not happening. If you ask yourself, the opportunities open up. That's where about 2019, I think about August, September, I bought a course online. I taken it from Siddharth Rashekar. Okay, and I saw that to learn digital marketing, how to get leads, how to expand my franchise, and I never took action. I didn't watch it. And in March, when 2020 hit a roadblock, I was like, okay, I have a course now. Let me go watch it. I went ahead, I watched the course, I started learning about it. And the moment I learned everything in it, I understood that, okay, these are the skills that people require. And luckily at that time, there was a Bangalore meetup happening. I tell you, the opportunities in world come to you when your intention is right. Bangalore meetup was happening online. We had about 50-60 people, and many of ILH people were connecting. And they asked me, do you want to take up a topic on system and automation? Because I always loved systems. Yeah, I said, yeah, why not? I mean, I've learned whatever for coaches is required. I'll talk about it, get response and convert kit and everything. So they gave me the session. I prepared a PPT, and we had a session from 10 o'clock till about 2 o'clock or something. Okay, and we had about 6 speakers, and I was like fourth, I think. So 1, 2, 3 speakers finished. I'm the fourth person. I started speaking. 5 minutes later, Siddharth joins that room as a guest. Okay, and now he's just listening to me, and people said, okay, he's here and all that. And I continued what I did. And I shared about how I built my funnel for franchise of preschool. I showed the entire journey. I'm doing this, I'm automating this, I'm using this SMS. And after that, I'm sending them a video. And after that, we qualify them and we give a franchise. After looking at it, I finished the thing, all of that. Then I got a voice note from Siddharth. Okay. And his community is like thousands of people, but he chose to leave me a voice note saying that it's a fantastic funnel which you have actually launched. And I can see that. So great. I think if you're interested, let me know. I want you to like do some facilitation in the community. I said, yeah, I would love to do that. So that was the first time, I think about 10 people, 8 or 10 people he bought in and closely could work with what it is. And he started to tell, okay, go watch this course and take up these topics. And we had to choose the topics, and I chose the topic. I understood what the systems are, automation. I went deeper now, not just as a user, but to teach people. Right. So I made a list of everything. For example, if I'm teaching teachable as a thing, even right now, my course is there, which I taught people, and they still ping me that this is amazing. So I went into making like 40 to 50 pointers, like which button is what you need to change, how to change the color. So in detail. So the more deeper I went, I fell in love with systems. I was like, okay, this is fantastic. So I started serving as facilitator there. Then we took up sessions. I think from there the connection even till date, right? So I have a connection with just one WhatsApp message, right? Wherever we meet, we still have that same thing, and he's the only person I've learned from. Okay, I don't have any other mentors, so I've learned from what digital is about, how to communicate, how to do webinars, like most of them. And right now, 2023, I started moving towards SaaS. So now I understood that I cannot be focusing only on coaching, because when you're into it, you don't look at the bigger picture of a startup investment world. So I consciously told, like, I have a bigger plan. I told him that I want to like go and build something that doesn't exist. Okay, so he said that I'm so confident, just move ahead with that and do it. And after that, I slowly like slow down about learning coaching and all that, and move towards the startup SaaS world. And that coaching skill till date is serving me a lot. Like even if I'm speaking here, communicating things that I know in my mind, I think it's that one of the skill which is very, very valuable. So that's where the 2020 opportunity created. And then I happened to become a digital coach in real because of that opportunity on that online call and leading as a facilitator. That gave me confidence that now I can sell courses and I can move into this direction. And I started working 2020, 21. And in fact, the money that I made through that year, I paid salaries to every employee that was there with me.
Wow.
Not even a single month I missed. Whatever I earned there, I used to take it back to my account and send it back to their things. So with 1-2 years, I didn't even let go even one person. And then 2021, 22, we opened back full fledged. And still the world is like going in the same way.
Amazing. And you were mentioning that public speaking wasn't something of a forte at that time. So was this the way that you started to learn your public speaking, or did you learn somewhere else and this is how it kind of began?
No, I never learned anywhere else consciously about public speaking. And in fact, till 2020, whenever I had to give an annual day speech or something, I used to write down that. Okay. And one day when I was actually giving a speech in 2019 annual day, I was reading out and I just had to see people like this. And I realized nobody's looking at me. Like we had closely to about 600, 800 of them, and they were all talking. So something hit me very hard that maybe I'm reading out. That's why people are not connecting. I made myself commitment that day itself. The next time I'm going to like speak in my life, I will never have a sheet no matter what event it is. And that till date, I never make pointers on phone, never write it down anywhere. No matter how big the event is, I'm just going to go in there, speak what comes to my mind, and have a structure which I memorize. I keep the structure and I speak only in that format. So I think that one commitment, after getting into coaching, the fluency of speaking for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and the fumbling and all that was there initially. But later I just overcame it, understanding consciously that when I'm speaking, I need to have a 3-second gap between what I think and speak. So that's a technology, like technicality that I built myself, that if I'm thinking something right now, I will only speak after 3 seconds. So there's a delay between my thought and my speaking. Because if you don't have a filter between what you think and speak, you will end up making wrong statements that could hurt people, or it could also create controversy on a very big level. So we've seen people giving statements like that and creating controversies because there's no delay of filter, like analyzing, should I say, should I not say? Even as I'm speaking, there could be a lot of things coming into my mind to say, but I'm actually filtering out, okay, this is not required. So I think it's a skill that it comes only with practice. So it's hard to teach, but you can practice and learn it.
Amazing. Amazing. Earlier on, you had talked about automation. Now, for those who don't know, who are listening right now, what automation is and how marketing in terms of automation go hand in hand, could you give a little bit of an example about that, and maybe then get into how you have built a system that is helping do that very, very easily and very simply?
Absolutely. There's two ways to build a business all the time. I'm talking before ChatGPT, so that's before AI. Okay, so technically when it was accessible to the whole world. So let's say 2021 before. So there was only two ways to build a business. Either you build it with people or you build it with systems. So if you want to send an email, either you sit down and allot this work to somebody so that they can leave that email to the client and follow up with them. Or second one, where some of the email tools like MailChimp or GetResponse or ConvertKit, where you could actually upload all the contacts and set up a campaign and it would deliver to many people. So when I understood this, I found it very interesting that rather than working with people, I love to work with systems. Now, why is it? Anybody who's working with people, it's not a very great experience, right? So unless you're working for passion without money, no goals of building a business, it's very happy to stay with people. Still, there's a lot of emotions that's connected, like the way they connect with you, their egos, the kind of convincing, not having, agreeing upon a lot of things, lot of mess in human understanding. But when it comes to system, it's straightforward. I can just tell the system, you send an email this time and it's sorted. They're not going to ask me that, is this person going to reply you back? Should you think we should send or no? Because last time this person told me, don't follow. I don't have that validation. That is what made me love with systems. I'm like, if somebody stops me from doing something, it's going to pull me back. So rather, I'll put my time into systems and tell them what to do, whether even if the rejection is there, I'm okay with it. I mean, everybody gets rejection. I think this is one of the things that every entrepreneur should be okay with. It's okay to get rejected. It doesn't really matter. If people are saying no on your face, it's okay. I mean, like, just be okay with it. And that's what I learned earlier. And I loved systems. Then I understood the funnels, the landing pages. Then I saw like LMS working. I started learning Zapier, how it works. That was the workflow builder automation. I fell in love with that whole system. So for somebody who's an entrepreneur or just becoming an entrepreneur, automation is all the direction that you give a system to follow what you want to accomplish. If you're saying send an email today, send an email after 3 days, send an email after 10 days. Now that's an automation. You either do it manually or you tell the system to do it. So once we started doing that, then the AI came in 2021 or 22. And after 22, I think the world changed forever, right? It's never the same how it was. That was the initial time where I started using systems and automation.
Amazing. So basically, I mean, I know, like we say, systems win, people fail. Systems can get it right all the time. Of course, you need people behind those systems to be able to make sure it happens, but you're not dependent on people. The system is going to make it happen. Right? And with regards to, the kind of tools that are out there, which people can use, you talked about Get Response, ConvertKit, LMSs like Teachable, and other tools. So these are all standalone tools that are there in the market, which you need to use. Things like Zapier to connect with maybe your Google Sheets and your payment gateway, and all of those things happen through some sort of connector. But there are also all-in-one systems which are out there in the international market and in as well, which people are using very actively. So can you tell me a little bit about that, and maybe what about
Absolutely.
India?
So after 21 and 22, I came across a system that had everything in one place, and that is Go High Level. Right. So it was initially not known in India. Not many people knew about it. So I was like, okay, this is great opportunity. So they offer me a white label. So why don't I take this white label and go give it to my clients so that they can have their LMS, landing page builders, CRM, and everything in one. It was fantastic. It was great at that time. But going further at 21, 22, they moved into funding. Their goals became different. So it was basically just a subscription model earlier, but then they started charging for every email we send. So every WhatsApp we send in. And they also started charging for premium features of AI, workflows, advanced. So now in India, auto debit doesn't happen on a card. And I started like getting a roadblock because I was handling 6,000 accounts. I was one
Wow.
of the early members who moved in and captured the market, especially in the software space. And in 2022, I knew that this is not scalable in India at all because our payment system doesn't allow you to auto charge a card. And I've had encountered situations where a user comes in, sends like, let's say like 1 lakh, 2 lakh emails. After the trial period, cancels the account and goes away. And the worst part about the billing system is Go High Level will bill me, not my client. So if I have like 5,000 clients and they're using the system and I'm liable to pay to them. And I was like, this is a flawed model. It doesn't work like that. And second part is like, if somebody is not making me the payment on time, I have to manually go and pause their account because there's no billing system. And I was like, how do I manage 6,000 accounts? I had 4 accountants managing Excels. I said, this is not going to help me scale. That's the first time I started thinking about something must be done about it. I love the concept about all-in-one system, all that great stuff. But end of the day, this is not going to serve India at any cost. And that's one of the reasons what made me think was, how about me building something that can actually support that software? So I started building a payment system to manage my subscription there. Once I started building a payment system to manage it there, they started bringing another module called SaaS. Okay, that's like, we'll give you a $500 plan, but we will control the billings and everything. Now I was not even able to control my sub accounts. So I was like, I'm done. So now payments.ai, I said, let's add a few features to that. And I stopped selling my pipeline. That was the brand name. It was at the peak. We were doing closely to 70, 80 lakhs a month. Okay. In the agency space, we were spending like 3 lakh rupees for 1 year. And we used to get so many signups every single month. With the peak of my business, where the money is coming at very high numbers, I decided I stopped believing in this business and I stopped selling from there. My whole like, I think, sir, you're doing wrong. Like, what? Because we're getting so much revenue. How can you stop? Like, at least run it for 1 more year until you build it. We can have money. I said, no, I will never sell this until I believe in the product. Now
Hmm.
I don't believe in it. I'm not running it. I'm not using it myself. I don't have the authority to sell it to anyone. I stopped it. 2 years. Literally, people like, what happened to Karthik? What happened? Where he went? What happened to that? Nobody knew that. Secretly, what we were doing is we're trying to build the payments.ai with a CRM, with a funnel builder, with the WhatsApp automation, with LMS, with inbox. We built crazy, insane features for about 2 years and we launched the product. And once we launched it, the community looked at it, they were mind blown. And on one day, we made about 1.2 crore on one single day on the launch.
Wow.
And after having that launch, we started giving to business owners. And after giving to business owners to use it, I was still running the same model as my pipeline. That's where it flashed me that how many business can I acquire in 1 year? I did the math. I was getting about 300 per month. So I said, if I'm able to sell 300 sub accounts per month, in a year, I can get about 3,600. Okay. And maximum, how much can I do? 10, 12,000, maybe in 5 years, 10 years. This is not what I want to do. I've already done 6,000 in my past. Now I want to take it to a bigger number. That's where I got an inquiry from one of a client who attended my webinar saying that I love what you're doing. Can you give it on my name so that I can also sell like you? Now there was an opportunity. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Now he's asking me, can I become like Go High Level, which was never the plan. And I said, why not? Let's do it. I sat with my development team. I told them, can we create a dashboard where people can go sell sub accounts? They said, yeah, we can do it. We started working day and night. We collected the money from that person. We told that you have to work alongside us. We launched this in 2 months. We started working relentlessly. We built the whole ecosystem where anybody could come in, put in their logo, put in their domain, create their payment gateways, connect Indian payment gateway like Razorpay, and if the payment defaults, the account will get auto paused. And it will ask the person to make the payment and the account will get activated. All the things that I was suffering with, I created solutions for it. I said, now let's go and launch this. And to be very honest, we launched this in about January this year. Okay. And right now, we have hundreds of agencies and we have more than closely to 8,000 users in the ecosystem.
Wow.
In 6 months. Okay. And the growth, because one agency sells it to 20, 30 people, you have hundreds of agencies in their name running it. And right now, all collectively put together, the ecosystem has 8,000 users active, not the people who have cancelled. And I could see that in 6 to 8 months, that big of a number came in because the opportunities came to me and I was never like stopping myself. I never stop myself. When somebody tells me that, can you do this? I look at how can I do that? I'm like, can I do it? And today we're proud to be made in India. Every single code is written by us. I own every piece of it. I'm a bootstrap company, build this massive revenue right now. We host everything on AWS. And the best part about this whole cycle is that we have full control of the software with everything right in the future coming with AI, scaling up, going international. We are ready to take over the world because at this point, there's only two players in the world. One is them and one is us, right? So they have a market share probably of maybe 1,200 crores a year. And we just want to get there and capture that market like the story of maybe Uber and Ola, or it could be like Zomato, also inspired from Yelp. There's many business models that's built. I feel somewhere building it for India by an Indian is very crucial because your tariffs is one, your control is something, and a person who's been in the space, me being marketing agency guy, I know what people are going through. And today, to be very frank, I have some of the top most brands who are using it. Okay, like even like Tony and Guy, Naturals, all of them are my clients of my agencies. So I don't sell to businesses directly. I only work with marketing agencies, and marketing agencies have the whole MSME segment to go serve. So that ecosystem, how we connect with each other, how we work, I think this has been the amazing feeling in my entire history of business that I'm so comfortable helping each other, having that income for all of them. It's not that only I'm making money, but the best part is my agencies are making and their clients using this are also getting good business. So there's always a win-win-win in this ecosystem. And I think we've named it as right now as SaaS Universe. Okay, because
Wow.
it's SaaS Universe.ai. So building SaaS for future with AI, I think this is the community that should change the world.
Fantastic. Wow, Karthik. That is some story. And I have so many questions. I don't even know where to start because I mean, you had a very successful reselling business with so many people. You felt there was a challenge and you said, okay, I'm stopping this right now. I mean, my first question is, what happened to all those customers? That's one. The second question is, how did you get a tech team suddenly say, hey,
They
this is a
start
tech
building.
team, let's build something? I mean, you were starting schools, preschools, and you were doing like automation, and now suddenly you've got a tech company like some sort of Silicon Valley, it's suddenly the story is completely evolved, and that's really awesome. And then the third question is like, how did you acquire or even think about getting those kind of customers? And just, I mean, we're right now in September, and you said you launched
8 months.
in Jan. Yeah, I mean, this is like a story for Harvard Business School, in my opinion. Rather, IIM, we'll call it, made in India.
Thank you.
So please do share.
Starting with the first point, what you asked me was about at that moment, what happened to the clients. Till date, I have many clients using that system and I'm retaining it so that they can continue using. We don't promote it. Okay. So some of them are already have the entire thing, but I can say 80 to 90% of them have migrated to SaaS Universe. So now they have their own account. And the best part is we don't just give on our brand name, we give it on their own brand name. So we have a solution where they can put their logo, put their domain, they can call it their own software because we are technically the developers and creators of the product. So that was where the clients are still with us, and some of them have taken other things and moved on, and still they know that they want to start an agency, they prefer us, right? Because one thing that changed between the journey of starting there and building our own was about the future. Even till date, many of them who use it understand that for India, it's not easy because you need a WhatsApp sender to build a business here. Right? You just need to scan and you need to send messages. You can't just say WhatsApp official, I'll charge you another $20 extra for this. India is not a market open to paying you for every single thing. Okay, so the business suffers because of that model. So what we've done, we made it everything included for free. You want WhatsApp, use it for free, connect your Meta, pay to Meta, don't come to me. You want email, connect your own SMTP, go pay to email. We technically want to be the iPhone. You use Airtel, Jio or anything else, it's totally up to you. So this gave us the confidence and freedom that now you can go build your business, and that's working like really, really good. The second question was, if you can repeat me that question, if I remember.
Building the tech company.
Yeah. So building the tech company. So if we had to go forward and build something from scratch, it would never be possible without actually connecting with my team. So in 2022, so first thing I did was I wanted a developer to build only the payment system, right? So only the payment management, subscription and all that. So I connected with Vishal. He's an IT company guy. He was running a company of his own and he was doing projects for other. In 2022, I showed him that, okay, this is my vision. I want to build this app. He said, okay, let's build it. And 1-2 years down the lane, we built the payments app. It was connected with the system. It was managing subscription, all that. And right in 2023, I left a voice note to him. Now I think, Vishal, the game has changed. I'm not okay with only payments. I want to build everything. And he left me a voice note saying that the vision of what you have, I'm with you on this journey. We started building in that year and almost for 3 years. Okay. To be very frank, I want to admit that he's worked with us for almost nothing. He said, I believe in your vision so much that I wanted to do something. And all I have to do is like believe in your vision. I know you will do it. And till date, I think till January, technically we were just paying a little bit here and there and managed it. And today I made him the head of operations of the whole brand. Okay, so he's the COO of my company. So he takes care of entire onboarding, development team, managing A to Z. So somebody who stood with me when I was starting on the journey where I had no idea, just to believe in that vision made me say that, okay, now he's the person to do it. I think without him, probably in the development side, we wouldn't have progressed. So I also want to acknowledge that he's been there. So he got the development team, he manages that. Now we have a lot of backbones. Like we have developers in our team like Deep and all. They're like insanely intelligent. I tell like I want this and they figure out a way and come to me. Like they tell me that, okay, I want an AI bot. I told them we built it right in 10 days. Like we built the entire AI system with lot of AI stuff and AI brain. We built everything. We launched it within 10 days. Now the speed and momentum, and not even a single developer has left us from 2022.
Wow.
Not even one single person has left us. And I think that's the kind of vision, team, and the kind of bonding we have. We all work virtually maximum, but I think the vision is that. And even coming to running a company, my payout and all is very, very good. In a sense, like it's not about paying them high, but my payment cycle, I can tell you, it's unbeatable. My salaries go out on 5th, it goes out on 5th. And this is not today. This is right from 2014, the day I started. My salaries don't delay even for one day. I tell people, even my accounts team, whoever, if it doesn't go on that day, my accounts team has a tough time. It's not about the income that I want. I'm so particular on my expenses that goes out. Whom we are paying, who's the invoice that's coming, why this payment is not done, why the beneficiary is not added. So I think that confidence, nobody ever worries about money when they work with me. Like they don't even have to ask me like my invoice, nothing. Send it, forget it. Before you ask that it'll be made out on the 5th. I think that culture of being so accountable in terms of money, finance, payouts, and connecting with our team, now nobody has ever like even messaged or somebody that can I get my payment on time? Nobody till date. And that
Mm.
culture will build the company further. So I think those pointers of connecting the team, having the right development team is extremely important. Though I told you like systems are important, it's good for individuals to start. Like if you're a solopreneur, great, depend on systems. But going further, you need leadership teams. You need somebody to take care of your operations, your finance, your sales, your marketing. If you don't have the right people in the right place, now they will not be able to get you the results. The way I operate at this point is not comparable to what 4 5 years back I was doing, because I was a solopreneur with 2 3 employees, 5 employees. But right now we have a very large team, and if I have to run that, one person is not possible to run it. You need leadership roles like you need to clone yourself into different people. They need to think like you, they need to make decisions like you. And important crucial decisions, you can be the bottleneck. It's okay to be bottleneck. People say that you should never be bottleneck in your business. That's, I don't agree upon that. At least in the initial time, until you reach a revenue of, let's say, 100 crores a year or 50 crores a year, you need to be the decision makers at crucial points. If things are happening without your knowledge, it might not go in the way you want it. So until then it's beyond you, and get the right people like you who worked with 3 to 5 years with you. They understand in and out of you. Or you either be very strong in your SOPs that this is the rule, this is the regulation of this, have a constitution for your business. Now you don't have to be the bottleneck, because they refer to that and they implement the business. So, but if you don't have a SOP, you don't have a constitution for your business, and technically you would think that I should not be the bottleneck, it's just like, I think, blindly running a business.
And this comes down to the what you always believed in, which was systems, right? From the franchisee model all the way till now. I think that's what's really served you well in sense to keep that going. So
Absolutely.
Karthik, I mean, this conversation has been amazing. I think that we might need to have a part two based on all what you've been talking about. But I want to like kind of conclude with, sharing just one thing, when I'm listening to all of this, right? Many listeners also might be thinking, man, this guy is really lucky the way that he's been able to do all of this, get all these things together. And I know you talked about, asking and it'll come. Tell me, like, was there any like secret of in terms of grit and mindset or something that you feel that yeah, you hit a low point in your life and you are maybe lost or confused, and how did you get out of it? Was there anything that happened that made you feel like that?
I've never practiced, to be very frank about mindset. I love the practices what people love, but to be very honest, I till date don't write like goals every day or manifestation or probably like affirmations. I believe in them for sure subconsciously. I think there are two levels of it, right? One is either you consciously do it and believe it, or you subconsciously already know it. So I think in my mind, I'm not living a dream of today. I'm already living like 10 years ahead from now, because I exactly know what I'm going to do exactly next third year, fourth year, fifth year. So I know that every single time my mind is running that, okay, next step is this, next step is this. I just focus on the next step and start working. But coming to the mindset, there are moments where I've completely broke down, and I literally had to think that, okay, this is the end. Literally, I'm going to shut down everything, kind of a thing. And that happened before starting a business. It was not after 2014. That was in 2013 14, where things were not right. I started that franchise school and it didn't work. That was the moment I literally had nothing, because everything is going away. That was the lowest point of my life, where I probably was literally thinking about, where do I have a couple of hundreds I've kept somewhere. It's like, see if it's there in my place or here. The basic thing about like food, clothing, the vehicle, always there. There's no cash flow. Many people might think like, oh, car is there, property is there, everything. But what was the problem? Cash flow. I will show you people with 100 acres land who don't have money with them. So it's not having things around you, it's having the cash flow, which actually changed my life. I started understanding that business is not business until you get money every single month. In my entire life, I'm not building a business which doesn't give me recurring revenue. Why am I so particular about that messages? Because that is what changed my life. Like everything, I run a school. A student studies this year, next year they're going to come back to the next class. They're never going away. I run a software, SaaS universe. Every user who's there is going to pay me every single month, every single quarter, every single year. So if the cash flow is not there for a business, you are literally meaningless. The richest people without cash flow have gone broke, because they can't dispose their assets all of a sudden. How can they sell anything and take the money? So you having cash flow is extremely important. And one of those pointers to get that confidence in every stage was the money in your bank account. I talk about this, like no matter how great of a person you are, how much strong mindset you have, if you don't have that money in your bank account, you literally are a weak person. you don't have the confidence to take decisions. And that's what I focused on while building a company is get that revenue, put it in the account. It's in the company's account. It's not my personal money. I keep that so that I know that next 3 months is covered, 6 months is covered, 1 year is covered. I don't work for next month's salary. I work for the salary which you have to pay on 14th month. Right now, I work on like 16th month salary. So once I have that, let's say 2 years or 3 years of roadmap, I take that money, put it on FD on company. Now my company is safe. Even if everything goes away today, I know I can sustain my team for next 24 or 36 months. I think that level of mindset comes with two parts. Is one is generating that cash flow, having a business that can give you recurring income, and third one, having enough money in a bank account because you can be now confident to go and take over any competition. Now, if I'm competing against a company which has 1,000 crore in revenue, because we know we make a couple of crores a month, right? Like we are at that stage where we can compete with them in India, right? You're the player of the globe. Great. You know what? I'm going to dominate India. You cannot understand what Indian entrepreneurs need. You cannot understand what Indian marketers need. I mean, our marketers need WhatsApp group scheduling. Can you give that? No. You don't have an option to give me a community scheduling. I have built it. You want to send reminders to coaches. Coaches want to send 20 groups reminders. I have a system which I've built a feature, schedule it, put it to all the groups and mention this time and leave it. When your webinar is going, 30 minutes one reminder, 15 minutes one reminder, VR live goes automatic. You need to be a player to build something out of a solution. I think if you're passionate about the business that you're running in, it gets that. So these are few things, even like the confidence level or like taking over that is about, I think we've seen the lowest point of not having anything. I know it can't get worse than that, right? So if I lost everything also in 2020, was that moment where I built something 6 years, it vanished in like a month. If I could see that moment and come over and build something, I know that it's not one thing that I'm dependent on. Even if something goes away today, I will still be able to build something really, really big. The confidence of understanding that process and knowing how to build it is a skill, is your intelligence, is your experience. If you have these skills, you can build out any business there.
Amazing. And you've really, really nailed it. It does boil down to money in the bank. It does boil down to that confidence that you have to be able to scale with discipline. And I think it would have taken a lot of discipline to be able to know what to invest in and what not to invest in. It might have taken a lot of sacrifice. Okay, I'm not going on that fancy holiday today in this month. I'm not going to buy that fancy car. I'm going to focus on building that confidence with money in the bank. And that's really great advice for whoever is our entrepreneurs.
One thing I'll also add about it is also in my personal life, I've done that in the beginning. Yes, that we need to build a business, all that. But at the same time, I also believe in living a life. Okay. I drive a luxury car. My car number is 0001.
Okay.
If I'm particular of buying a number, paying that much of money, so you can think about as an entrepreneur, it's not about just thinking that I'm going to sacrifice everything. I live like a broke for 5 years and then I live my life. I don't believe in it because end of the day, nobody knows what future is. What if you're not there after a month? What if something doesn't exist after 2, 3 years, 1 year? So I feel it's not about the future. You need a basic foundation to understand when you can do it. Now, let's say if I have a company money is not my money. My money is my salary I take from it, right? The salary I take from it is my money. Now, whether I invest it, I live a life, I give my family the kind of luxury they want, the comfort they want. I want to have it all because I believe that once you've seen that, that's where your detachment comes to the next level. If you're not going to see it for 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years, you will always be waiting that when I'm going to see that, right? You want to do that. You want to have a luxury car. You want to buy it. You know, if you can manage that income and expenses, you should go for it, but you should be calculative that you can pay it off even if everything goes wrong. Because since I have multiple businesses, right? Let's say my school goes a little low on revenue, I know my SaaS is going to catch up, right? I have something else that catches up. I have some assets that I built. I bought some products that I can sell. So I think living and giving your family also the life they desire when we have it is also an important part of it. I believe in that. I've never compromised on anything. Like people who know me personally, I have everything that people aspire to do it, but I go it stage wise. So I don't do it overnight. I go, if I can afford this, this is the step one. But my second step is already written. I know when I have to buy it and what's my milestone to achieve that. So once I reach this income I'm getting it, I'm going to do that end of the day. Right. So everything, like it could be buying your house, I bought a house. Right. If I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad and they say like a house is a liability, I just don't blindly follow that. I should not buy a house. House is a security for us. It gives a peace of mind to my family. They know that they want to do it. I just bought it, in fact, like this year. And I said, like, there's nothing to wait. There's nothing to postpone. I'm going to do things that even a common person will do it. The kind of mindset we've grown with is like, when we have a good house, we have a good car, we are secured, we have some income, we have some rental income, now our life is settled. Why not do it? To do that, how quickly can you do it? So I don't believe in like the belief system of anything. I would respect all belief system. I want to buy something, I want to do it. If I don't do it right now, let's say I want to buy a good sports car, if I don't drive it when I'm in my 30s, I will not be able to drive when I'm 60s. But I need to reach to that. I need to know my milestone clearly. So if my company is not making couple of crores and my salary is not this much, I'm not doing it. Now, if my
Mm,
salary is this much, I have no expenses that is coming in. Now I know that this money is sitting. Either I can reinvest it and keep doubling the money, or I can do something that I believe in. Like put it somewhere, get a return out of it, and using that, you can do it. For all of this, one thing, I believe in is cash flow. It's not depending on even one business. I think you need to have cash flow from different sources coming into your bank account where you literally think where the money is coming from. I had this
mm,
dream when I was building, like one day I should have a problem where I should not know where the money is coming, why is it coming. I should ask my team, why are these, what is this? Why is this coming in? I should sit down for meetings for that. And like, to be very humble to tell that I actually been in that situation right now. Whatever comes to my bank account, it keeps hitting the bank account every single day. There's not even a single day that income has not come to our banks. It's come through every source. But that conviction didn't take overnight. It took over 11 years to build it for us, right? The time of sticking on to it. And once you have that kind of cash flow, confidence is automatically coming into you, because no matter what, your clients are going to stay with you for next 5 years, 10 years. There is never a business that will go down which is on subscription. As long
mm.
as you know that the client retention is good, they want this to their business, and that changes the game. I tell this line always. If you're not the oxygen of your client's business, people will replace you like this. If you become the oxygen for your client's business, the moment they shut you down, their business is going to die.
Wow.
Companies like internet, Airtel, Geo, electricity that you're using, can you shut them off? You can't. Then why are you an option? That's exactly where SaaS came in. I said every business needs leads. They want to manage the leads. They want automation. I tell my agencies, you become the oxygen for your clients. And now there is no way that your clients are going to leave you, because their whole business is going to run on that. You think like how Geo thinks. Things like Airtel. Think like internet companies. Think like electricity government. If you shut down, their business should not survive. Unless you become the oxygen of your clients, you will be replaced very easily.
Amazing. I mean, this is real gold, Karthik. And I really feel I need to do a second episode on how to manage multiple businesses, all the moving elements with legal, finance, marketing, sales. I mean, I think that deserves a second episode. But we are running way beyond what we expected, and I'm sure people will be listening to this very glued in because it's been so insightful. So, Karthik, usually how I like to end these podcasts is a very quick rapid fire round. Just quickly, I'll ask you a few questions. Boom, 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 and and then I'd love to share and close this episode. Does that sound good? Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. I think I already know some of the answers, but I'm going to just shoot it anyway. Favorite book?
Let's chat for that.
I knew that was coming. All right. Favorite personality?
Favorite personality. I've been inspired with different personalities. So if I have to just give a rapid fire also, I don't know. I have a dream image of my own self like 5 years from down the lane. I think that personality inspires me every day.
Wow, the future you. Amazing. That's the first time I'm hearing that, and it's absolutely beautiful. What about your favorite quote?
If you tell yourself it's not going to work, your brain stops working. If you ask yourself, how can I do it? Your brain starts thinking. That's my favorite quote.
Amazing. And I think that might even work for the next question. Words of wisdom for aspiring business owners, coaches, people in the sales who really want to make it big. What would be your words of wisdom?
My words would be that build a business not to sell your products or services, build it with genuinity, be transparent, and leave the decision making to your clients. Because I believe in sales, it's not about making them like pay, but it's about helping them to take a decision. So, my sales, personally, what I believe in is just helping people to decide whether they want or no. After that, they buy it, they don't buy it. I have absolutely nothing to do with it. I respect the decisions, and that's what is attracting me, or people are getting with us. Even after 3 months, 6 months, they always come back to me because we're so transparent. And we also do that. If somebody's deposited for that one-to-one call to take a product, we have 100% refund policy. Like, because in India, we've been programmed that there's no refund after this many days. I don't believe in that at this point of time, as the abundant world I'm looking at. It's like, somebody doesn't use my product, you don't need it, take your money back. But the best part is the door will be shut for you forever, right? For me, getting another client is easy, but for you, getting another Karthik Naidu is not going to be easy, right? So I tell them, and I'm with that. So I think that's a word of wisdom. Just be transparent, be clear. If people are not there, just give them back. Work with people who are interested, and this is what I've learned after like almost 10, 11 years.
Fantastic. Final question. How can people find you, connect with you and your businesses?
Just go and search for saasuniverse.ai. You'll find my company. You can find all the links there. You can see all our initiatives. We just don't do too many things. We just do like 2 things or something like that. And you can find Karthik Naidu on any platform.
Fantastic. And are we going to be seeing a Google Zoho like company coming out from SaaS universe in the next 5-10 years? I'm sure you've already thought about that. Maybe you want to say it here first.
Yeah, the vision of SaaS Universe is about empowering every digital marketer, freelancer, and working professionals to start a business without even creating a product or service. Because the biggest challenge, what I heard Kunal Bal telling this in Raise Up event, he said 90% of startups fail because there's no product market fit. So if a product or market fit is not there, people are failing in that part, right? What if we fix a product which is already proven? And that's exactly SaaS. Software as a service, AI can never die. So it's futuristic. So if somebody knows that I want to get into digital space, a marketer, freelancer, or a working professional, they already have a proven product, but only one thing they need to work on is sales, right? So if they don't learn sales skills, you can't be an entrepreneur. And I think you have to follow Om for that. So go check out what he does, how amazingly he shares content. So learn the selling skill. You have a good product. Marketing, anybody can help you. You can hire an agency. They can help you get leads. But one skill you can't miss out is about communicating, talking to your clients, and building that sales. Next comes is your team building, operations, all that is aside. But the first step, door to entry to become an entrepreneur, have a good product, know how to sell it.
Thank you so much, Karthik. Thank you all for joining in. This is the Killer Sales Engine podcast. And I hope you guys had a really insightful time. Do subscribe on YouTube and Spotify for more episodes that are coming up. This is Aum Janakiram here. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And we will see you in the next episode. Thank you, Karthik.
Thank you.